Here at S-Class, we don't like to use hyperbole or clickbait. When you see Worst Shonen Jump Manga of All Time in our video title, we mean it. And this isn't just my opinion or a rapid hot take. This isn't about getting views for something I genuinely believe in that just so happens to go against the grain. No, this is, objectively, according to the many users of my anime list, the worst manga that Shonen Jump has ever had grace its pages. Of all the Shonen Jump manga in the magazine's illustrious history, one sits at the very bottom of the My Anime List rankings. With an overall average score of 5.1 points, Our Blood Oath is officially the worst rated series to ever hit the pages of Shonen Jump. You may see other series listed after it, but that's because they aren't rated, not applicable. This is the worst rated thing here. Well, that is once again according to users of one website, primarily used by people in English-speaking countries. So not really official, but it's as close as we're gonna get here. Beyond that though, clearly the readers in Japan also agreed. The series lasted just 18 chapters, not even 5 months worth of runtime in Shonen Jump. Barely 2 volumes worth of chapters. You have to be astronomically bad to get cancelled before reaching even the 20 chapter mark. I mean, there's a decent chance Shokugeki no Sanji ends up with more chapters than My Blood Oath. And trust me, more time in the oven still wouldn't have helped this series. Unfortunately, I know. And how do I know this? Well, I can't in good conscience make the claim of worst Shonen Jump manga of all time without reading the series for myself, of course. I mean, it only lasted 18 chapters, so it shouldn't be too hard to get through this. Oh my god, I can't get through this. The dialogue is clunky and the art is rough. I mean, I have no artistic talent whatsoever, so I don't want to be too overly critical on that end, but as someone that pretends to be a writer, I just can't put up with how expository every single line is. Like, everything just feels so narrated and inorganic. Show, don't tell. Especially if you're going to show anyway. This panel right here, we see the little vampire baby turn blood into a scythe. You don't need to say it just for the reader. Readers are generally pretty dumb, but we're not that dumb. The first chapter is full of this. Maybe that's partially a result of the author not having confidence in the art, but it's not an excuse for such bland writing. Oh man, I know I said I wouldn't talk about the art, but just look at this. This is the lead color page. This is the first thing you see when you read this manga. Ignoring the fact that the coloring job looks like it was done with a Microsoft Paint fill tool, there's just nothing exciting going on here. The background is dark and lacks details, the characters are partially hidden, but what we do see is bland. Even the fire looks weak. I know Billy Crystal set high standards for fire in anime, but this is still pretty weak.
Here's another curse. May all your bacon burn.
The premise isn't overly gripping either. We have a human adopted by a vampire family, and he's got a little vampire brother. Vampire parents are dead, and now the two of them are traversing Japan to maybe figure out how humans and vampires can coexist? I don't know, something like that. The series didn't come out that long ago. It debuted in September of 2020. Long since past the days of Twilight and Vampire Diaries. We as a world culture came to an agreement and moved on from vampires. We left that life in the 2010s. I guess the author Kazu Kakazu didn't get the memo. There's really not much more of a deep dive that needs to be done to see why this failed, and join the ranks of other failed vampiric outings like Hotel Transylvania 3. Not Hotel Transylvania 1 though, that's an S-tier anime right there. Let's keep digging a little more though. I can't make such bold claims without continuing to back them up. The second chapter here became this weird relationship exposition chapter that tried to ham-fist in how much the brothers care about each other. It went way too hard into character development by once again just telling us how much the brothers care about each other and rely on each other. I've said it in other videos about failed Jump manga, but character development is earned and gradual. You can't just info dump in the second chapter and expect us to care about the relationships of these characters. Not only that, but they also threw in an action sequence with non-existent stakes, because the author seemed to remember midway through what his series was about. Chapter 3 has the same kind of structure of character development and action, except this time it features a creepy, senpai-obsessed girl. Which is probably the most realistic part of this manga so far, honestly. It just kind of keeps going like that, and my attention could not be held. We meet more vampires, most are kind of evil, until some of them aren't, until they don't have blood, and then they're evil again. Or something like that. The story ends just a few chapters later with some panels of the brothers once again declaring their love for each other, for what seemed like maybe the 87th time in this short-lived series. Mirroring my thoughts on the realism of the creepy senpai obsessor, the most unrealistic part of this series isn't the vampires or demons or whatever they are. It's the two brothers constantly professing their love for each other. I'm lucky if my brother says happy birthday. It took the guy a year to get me a wedding gift, and he was my best man. This type of brotherly love ain't real. Was My Blood Oath the worst thing I've ever read? No. I once read a manga with an incredibly inappropriate anteater that did things to a person that would get me banned from the internet if I said them here. Was it the worst thing I've ever read in Shonen Jump? Oh god, absolutely. Let's leave vampires in the past. Like that creepy CGI Twilight mutant baby. We just don't need any more of this. But maybe what you do need is a subscription to S-Class. If you like this, well, I don't know what's wrong with you, but there's more videos like this here. Thanks for tuning in.